Somebody says, what conspiracies do you believe? Get asked a lot about conspiracy stuff. Do you believe in any conspiracy theories? I know that you do, but...
All of them. I heard a great one the other day.
Oh, wait. Jerry Nadler shit himself. It's on C-SPAN. We'll cover that, but I want to hear I want to hear your great one.
I heard a great one yesterday. So I heard that... Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein. Sure. We all know Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
Rest in peace. He was also obsessed with bioengineering.
Oh, yeah. Like nanotechnology and shit, right?
Well, biotechnology. And so he had all of these scientists that he would donate money to their charities, and he would have them work on things and stuff. And people were saying that he was trying to create he wanted to basically be able to alter genes and make different kinds of life and stuff like that. But what I heard, and this is completely unsubstantiated, but I heard it and I thought it was fascinating, was that he also had these same guys, because they were disease specialists and everything like that. He had them design a novel coronavirus that was his kill switch. Basically, that was his trump card, which is I don't go to jail or I release this shit. And it's one of these things where if I don't keep entering in a thing every 30 days, I die. Then when they killed him in October or November, his kill switch went off. And that's when the disease got introduced into the world and slowly started to spread in the last quarter of last year until it became what we do today. I don't believe it.
I don't. I'm with you. I don't believe that for a second, but that's a goddamn great conspiracy theory.
I love it, and I'm going to spread it as much as I can.
That's a good one, dude.
The other one I heard that I always loved was that and I found a whole community of people who believe this online. It's that there's a bunch of people out there who actually think that Lady Gaga is John Benet Ramsey.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and so they're she got, I guess they would have been the same age or something like that, and they think that a secret society, they took her or something to turn her into a pop star. And so it's people comparing the size of her nose to the size of her eyebrows to John Bonet's and stuff like that. It's a really weird.
They really don't look anything alike. If you look at a photo of Lady Gaga,
someone says it's true. I have the documents in the chat.
Oh, well, all right, Chris from Arizona, let's see it, man. Come correct with that. Whisper me those documents. And I'll screen share them with everybody.
See, this is why this is a great news program. Now granted, I've stopped watching the news since we started this program, so I haven't been watching the news. But when I used to watch the news, I would never see anybody talk about the connection from Jeffrey Epstein to coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We're on to it. Hey, wait, Trevor, real quick. This is so unrelated, but I was just thinking about it earlier. Something you said triggered it for me. Will you tell that, and it's not, we didn't write this, somebody else on the internet that you were reading wrote it, but when someone was asked the question, what's the craziest sex move you could imagine? Or what would you do? No, it was what would you do if you could stop time?
Oh, this is an old copy pasta. I don't know if you call them copy pasta or copy pastas. I don't even know how to say Discman. But this was an old copy pasta from the early 2000s, from the mid 2000s, that would be in things where it was a guy that somebody was asking what would you do if you could freeze time, and the guy said, I would hook up with my girlfriend, I would get a blowjob, and then when I was about to ejaculate, I would freeze time, orgasm onto her. And then I would go about my day until I had to orgasm again.
He would freeze time after he would orgasm, then freeze time. He wouldn't freeze time before he orgasmed.
You'll probably tell the story better than me.
Well, I'm just retelling what you told me, but how I remember is he's what I would do. I think about this way too often. This pops into my head maybe every day. He's what I would do is I'd be getting a blowjob, and then as I was jizzing on her, I would jizz and I would instantly freeze time. And I'd go about my day. And then when I was the next day or whatever it was, when I was ready to come again, I'd get in the same position. I would get there, I would unfreeze time, I would come again. And then I'd freeze time. And I would do that again and again and again and again until I got old and died. So in her point of view, what she would see is me going, oh, and I would come an ungodly amount, and as I came, I would turn old and gray and then die.
Like
and to her, it would just be a moment.
Yeah, it would look like the Holy Grail when he drank out of the wrong cup. Like he was like, oh, and like. Oh.
And it's like the fucking weirdest. Where does that come from, man?
Well, that's the thing. It's like that guy's a genius. And who knows who he is? He's somebody out there. There's another.
That is a genius. I think you're right. I think there's a brilliant mind going on there.
And there was another thing that I read on the internet once, which was they were asking a guy about like, it was a thread of like, if you had to kill yourself, how would you do it? And this one guy was like, well, he's like, I'd go up in a tree. And he's like, and I would take razor wire, like, very thin piano wire, and I would tie a noose around my neck with razor wire and tie it to the branch. Then I would take super glue and I'd put it on my hands, and then I'd put it on either side of my head. And then he was like, and I'll wait until like, a bunch of kids are walking by, and then I jump out of my tree and yell like I'm mad. Like he'd be like, ah, and I'd hit the ground. The razor wire would cut my head off, but it would be stuck to my hand. So it would look like I just got so mad I jumped out of a tree and ripped my own head off into my hands and fell down dead.
You'd be like, oh!
Yeah.